So I don't know if you can see, there's my tent in the trees. I'm at Rummel Lake, 7,200 feet elevation here. Stand in the middle of the lake. This is where I'm camping tonight. Stunning. Well, it's 26th of February. At the trailhead here for Rummel Lake. Really looking forward to this. Bit of a question mark how cold it's going to be, but you know, I'm prepared, so we'll see how it goes. Right now the car is saying it's -5, which is I guess about where I expected it to be. It's snowing a little bit. It's supposed to be cloudy tonight, but that might keep it a bit warmer, so we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to it. Alright, trailhead starts. Car's right there. Well, let's do it. Like 2 minutes in, and I'm already getting too warm, so I get a layer off. And you know, it's a great trail. It's actually a fairly popular trail for snowshoeing anyway, so I thought it'd be easy to follow. You know, don't need anything. And there's a fork, so I have to consult my GPS as to which way to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up in the same place. Anyway, the shortcut does intersect the trail, so I think it saved a bit of distance. I imagine it's a bit steeper. Anyway, I've gone about 1 kilometer. That's where we're headed. It's still snowing a bit. Done about 1 kilometer. It's taking me way too long. I mean, I gotta get on that treadmill a bit more for sure, considering some of the stuff I want to tackle in the summer. Jeez, I had to do better than this. This may seem silly, but these trekking poles have a left and a right. Black diamond trekking poles. Great trekking poles. Do a great job, but you know, the OCD in me just won't let it go. Every time I move, I gotta make sure they're in the right hands. It's really annoying. So this is 2 kilometers in, looking north towards Canmore, somewhere over those mountains. That's Tent Ridge, awesome ridge walk. In the summer, wouldn't recommend it. In the winter, you can see all the avalanche slopes. And that, I'll zoom in, is called the Fist. Scrambling objective, not for me of course. You can see why it's called the Fist. A little patch of blue, but that's not going to hold. About 3.5 k in, if you're not paying attention, you probably could go the wrong way down here. But this is certainly more packed down, and it's headed the right direction. I think that sign's normally at knee level somehow. And it doesn't look like it, but this is a bridge. Oop. You can see how much snow is on it there. After the bridge are these helpful yellow markers. If you just had a foot of snow or something, it might be tough to find the trail in spots, but at least at this point, looks like we're going to have some help. It's about 20 after 12. It's about 4.8 k on the GPS, so I'm almost there. It's getting close. This section, since the Tent Ridge viewpoint, I guess I'll call it, has been pretty much in the trees. But you'll see the yellow marker behind me. There's one right in front of me as well. once you hit the bridge, there's tons of these markers. So this is a snowshoe ski trail in the winter, and it's not scenic. It's I guess it's nice in winter with the snow on the trees, but there's no views. Apparently the hiker trail has some good views, but not in the winter. A bit too risky with the avalanches. So getting there a little later than I wanted to be. I'm just taking my time, and you know, I got up my game here. If I want to get these trips planned I have for this summer, if I want to do those, I got to be able to do better than this. But 2 feet further on, a little bit of a view. Very nice. I mean, this is it's a total whiteout over there. It's pretty wild. Little trees. Well, this is going to be interesting. I think this is the spot. Chopped it down a little bit, but I got to do a bit of spade work, I think. Get that a little more level. It's not totally under the trees. I think that's okay. But definitely nice and sheltered, and hopefully far enough away from the mountain to be safe. I'll better get to work before I cool down too much. Alright, so it's 10 to 2. I've been here a while, but I had to get set up because it is snowing a bit, and really want to get my tent up, find a place to camp first off, and get the tent up, just to get my stuff in the tent so it doesn't get snowed on, and don't need the snow because then it gets wet. Anyway, I'll get into all that in a minute, but so I'm here now. You can see the mountain there behind me. Now that I got all my stuff under cover, I got a few minutes, I'll kind of show you around a bit and just show you the facilities. This is the winter trail. So see, I was just standing there a minute ago. Bit of a whiteout today, unfortunately. And I don't know if you can see that winter trail. And right when you come in, you got a biffy. So when I booked this place, it's only campsite. You can only book this place in the winter. So there's no real like designated campsites, but they do ask you to camp close to the lake, close to the bivvy. I'm pretty close. So it's essentially, there are no facilities except for this place. And I've been back and forth over this trail a few times, still have my snowshoes on, so I'm hoping to be able to access it with just my boots, but it's probably not going to happen. So very excited to have a washroom, biffy, and then yeah, it's frozen, so lose that. A bit awkward with the snowshoes on. I guess you'd have to back in or take them off or something. So yeah, it's not Christ, can't even turn around. So I guess, I mean, that's the only thing standing between me and just total, not random camping, but you know what I mean, zero facilities. That's what I got, so I guess I can be thankful I have that. So let me show you where I'm set up, back to the lake. So once again, so Mount Gallaty is highest peak in Kananaskis country. It's 10,499 feet, I think, pretty just about a foot shy of 10,500 feet. We're at 7,200 feet, so yeah, you got to go up another 3,000 plus feet to get up into those clouds. So this is that was a winter trail. This is a hiker trail. Summer it takes you, I think, more scenic route that way, because the hiking wasn't that interesting. And again, it's at knee level, which I'm guessing isn't normally where it is. So for whatever, this area here was tamped down a little bit better than anywhere else. So this is what I got. And let me tell you, that is not a Four Seasons tent. And the drawbacks really, you know, do show themselves in the winter. So I just threw all my stuff in there for now just to keep the snow off it. I got to do a little more work to get it serviceable. But it's up and it'll be good enough as long as it doesn't snow too heavily. But I mean, I was a bit disappointed because I had expectations that other people camped here, because you can only camp here in the winter. So I was expecting to see, oh, this is nice. People had dug up nice trenches and tent pads and all sorts. No, there's nothing. So whatever I want to do, I got to do myself. And not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll try and do a little cooking area. I don't know. I'm digging outside the tent there because it's a bit soft. And I just didn't really want to dig down 3 feet to get to solid ground. So I'm hoping that's going to work for me. We'll see how that goes. Anyway. I get this bird hanging around. Unfortunately, the inReach is not cooperating. So I'm just going to try walking it out there a bit because I'm trying to send a text to my wife so she knows I'm okay. And then I'm kind of hungry, so I mean, it's 20 after 2 and I haven't had lunch. So I'm ready to set up my little kitchen. So I'll try this first and then lunch. So what I did in preparation for this trip is I tracked the temperatures at Peter Lockheed Park, because it's just, you can see it on the phone app, right? The one comes with the iPhone. And clearly that's not going to be accurate. This is thousands of feet higher. Certainly it's not the same. It's not the same. Once you're in the mountains, everything changes. So I found 2 weather stations at near here. Near Bristol Pass. There's one at Bristol Pass and one at Mud Lake. They're a few clicks down the road. So I made a table, and so I'll put it up. And I think what's interesting is in the top left you'll see the weather stations. I also put Peter Lockheed there. And you see I put the distance as the crow flies from Rummel Lake. Mud Lake is 6,200 feet. That's 4.5K from here. Bristol Pass, a hell of a lot higher, 7,500 feet. And actually, and 10K from here, and actually it's a little bit higher than here as well. So I tracked the temperatures at those 2 weather stations because they're the closest ones, and Peter Lockheed to get a sense of, you know, what I might be in for. So on the right hand side of the table you'll see I tracked yesterday and last night, and the predicted low at Peter Lockheed was -14. It was wrong by a few degrees, down -17. And the Mud Lake, which is a lower elevation oddly enough, saw 22.4, -22.4, and Bristol Pass 15.1, even though it's higher. So all that told me really was be prepared for -20. Even though the forecast is -9, it could be anything, frankly, and just be prepared for that. Anyway, it's an interesting website. It's Avalanche Canada. There's a lot of good stuff on there, so certainly I'll link it down below. Use that if you're doing anything in the mountains. I'm sure there's something similar in any country that has mountains. I mean, Google it, it'll be there. It's fantastic information. Authentic Indian noodles. Masala festive pack. Nice. The other thing I do is I got to get some water on the go as well. So we got some bit of water boiling and get some noodles on the go. I brought a bigger bic this time. I had a big one last time, but the small bics, you can't light those when it's cold out. They're just too small. It's a pain in the ass. So I brought some big ones this time. Also bought a piezo lighter from Mech yesterday. Looked like a good idea. Damn thing doesn't work. So there you go. And I'm gonna have my noodles, and I'm gonna have to make some water. So that's why I brought the Stanley Adventurer pot instead of my Toaks pot, because it's a liter and a bit or something. The Toaks is 550. So I got to make water out of snow, and this snow is very fluffy, and I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take me a few goes. So anyway, not set up yet at all in the tent, so I think that's gonna have to get on the agenda soon. That's the packet. Never had them before, just saw them in the aisle at Co-op, I think. So it looked interesting. So I'm not recommending them just yet, that's for sure. Just waiting for my noodles to hopefully cook a little bit. So this fancy little hole I dug, it's like the bottomless pit of snow, just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Clearly the trail's there where my tent is and not here. So I got my snowshoes in there now. Keep them from going any further. This is a good counter height, so I feel quite spoiled. Hopefully, this is not engineered snow, people. Hopefully nothing's going to happen in the nighttime that's going to cause any problems. We shall see. Dairy Queen. It's like a blizzard. Alright, well, let's see how this goes. Yeah, so we're still going. You know, about a few minutes in, 5 minutes in, I could hear a bit of a noise, so I took it off and just gave it a poke with the spoon, and it melted underneath. So, and if I had left that, it might have toppled over. So you do have to keep an eye on it. And when I did that, I rested down the Reflectix. Reflectix is not heat proof, heat resistant maybe, and that's probably good enough for me. Let me turn that off. That's actually much better than I thought. I'm actually very pleased with that. I'm trying to see what line it's on. I think I'm just under 470, the 470. Right, so battery of my phone just died, so I did bring an iPod along just in case, because I knew it was going to be cold. These batteries don't last long in the cold. So anyway, like I was saying, I packed this thing tight. It was tight full of snow, but it is quite fine snow. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised. It made almost 16 ounces of water. It was actually more than I expected. Very pleased with that. So I was a bit worried I'd have to do like 4 of these, and then fuel's an issue. I got to go to the alcohol stove, which I don't like. It's very fiddly. But no, we're in luck. So no, that's good stuff. To get the needles and stuff out. I probably shouldn't do this over here, but beautiful here. Camp is over there somewhere. Behind this tree. Well, my iPhone is this, and this iPod is battery's crap in this thing. I didn't know that. So I'm running out of juice, so might be the end for the filming for today. I'm just going for a little snowshoe. Not quite sure where I'm going to go. I'm going to stay away, I think, from all this. It's tempting to go out in the lake, but I suspect I'm just going to go waist deep, even in snowshoes. So yeah, just going for a little wander, get a different vantage point. So my tent is in those trees there somewhere. Can't see it, kind of, anyway, towards the right a bit. Trailhead's there. It's going for a wander. You know, it's I'll tell you one thing, it's certainly different. It's definitely different camping in the winter, especially, you know, in these types of conditions. It was one thing at Elbow Lake to be camping in November with a picnic table and a fire and a kilometer from the car, familiar place. This is different. This is very different. Times like this you wish you had a decent camera. I knew how to use it too. That'd be great. Anyway, so I'm just making another batch of water. Waiting for my mountain house. And you know, boy, you learn a lot of things when you do something like this. Elbow Lake was a great camp out, but there were picnic tables, almost a proper bathroom. They're so nice. I mean, this one's, I don't know, it doesn't look like fun. And that there was firewood, there was an axe, a kilometer from the car, it always helps. But it was November 29th, and I knew it wasn't going to be cold. I think the lowest it got was -5. I think it's like -5 right now, -6. It's about 4:30, quarter to 5. I'm anticipating that it's going to be, my guess, based on my extensive research, such as it is I'm thinking -15 if I'm lucky. But yeah, there's just little things that you just don't think of, you know, until you get out here and you experience it. I mean, it's just like even me standing in this little ditch I made. You know, I got to put my snowshoes there. So if conceivably you could probably do this trail in micro spikes, but you got to bring snowshoes. Anyway, stuff like that. So I'll probably make it. Now it's starting to snow. I hope it doesn't snow too much. That could be a problem. Well, there's a reason why I didn't bring my BRS stove. I brought my MSR pocket rocket, because this thing has been going strong for God knows how, 20 minutes longer, just boiling water, melting while boiling first, and now melting water for the nighttime. So yeah, I'm not sure the BRS could stand up to that. It pays to bring quality in situations like this, that's for sure. Alright, well, 26, and all of a sudden the temperature just dropped noticeably. So it may be that fun time is over. Like I said, there's no fires here, so you know, you're not gonna warm up any other way, and I don't particularly want to wait till it's too cold before I kind of get changed into all my sleeping gear. I was about to go in and get changed. Actually, might just get changed right here with the Z-seat. I made a last-minute addition. A little breeze came up when I was about to get in, and so I've piled snow up against this end and along the other side. So it's right up against the. It's right up against there. Just keep the breeze down a bit. I don't need a lot of breeze. You know, there's definitely enough coming in there, so and through here probably. So enough ventilation. You do need a little bit, but I didn't want quite that much. You know. So I change out of all my daytime gear. I do have my thin base layer on. I got this Merino 250 weight top on base layer, and I got a similar base layer on the top. So I got 2 base layers on, and my Smart Wool socks, Fresh Bear hiking socks, and Smart Wool, or sorry, Darn Tough sock liner. So I think I'm prepared. I can always put my down on. I have more clothes I can put on if need be. So I think I'm okay, but right now it's -8 out. It's tracking last night's temperature. It could be cold. It could be as cold as last night. It was cold last night. So it's 9 o'clock. It's almost -9 outside, which is pretty good. I mean, at this time last night, in my reference stations, it was definitely colder. I was like almost -13 at Mud Lake and -14 at Bristol, so that's good. Got my hand warmers there, and I'm still holding some pretty good temperatures inside here, so just a couple degrees below zero. Already got a whack of stuff in my sleeping bag. I got some extra clothes and toques and gloves and whatnot just to keep them warm, and one of my down layers. I haven't put my water in yet. I'm going to have to at some point. I do have a plastic bag to put it in just because I'm a bit paranoid. I know they're not supposed to leak, but well, they have that. So, you know, that's the thing. You know, of course, all the electronics have to go in the sleeping bag too, and then the lighters, and geez, I mean, you almost need a bigger sleeping bag. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. Well, it's just about 7 in the morning. You can see from my breath it is a bit chilly, but not nearly as cold as I had feared. It's went down to last time I saw it. I think I woke up at like 2 in the morning or something. It got down to not quite -10, so that was a relief, I suppose. It was -6 in the tent, so you know, it's pretty cold in the tent. It's about -4 now. I did a little heat dump when I opened up the sleeping bag. So I'm just warming up some of my daytime stuff, and I got my hand warming things activating, so I can put them in the boots, warm those up, and actually put. This is why when you do trips like this, you gotta. It's practice. It's practice for the next step. So Elbow Lake was practice for this, and I look at this trip as practice for a trip that might be colder. So I really did try and pick the weather, not the day, and I was successful, thankfully. I'd rather not have to wake up to even -15 would be just a whole completely different world just from -7. You know, every 5 degrees in my mind, the way I'm thinking of it, makes a difference. Of course, I don't have my pot ready. So actually, I just want to make a bit of coffee, and we're going to see how this goes. Oops, hang on, I need that. I want a lot of coffee. Might be a few frozen bits in there, but I'll survive. And right now, that's all the water I have left, but that'll get me back to the car, so that's fine. So I'm just going to have a bit of coffee. Oh, we got a bit of a twig. Bit of stuff in the bottom of that, but oh. Yeah, see, this is this is why we practice. That is hot now. That's burning good. Bit precarious. That's kind of the other thing about this setup. It's all very precarious. The other thing, I don't know if I put enough fuel in there. I hope so. Maybe I should have just kind of filled it up more. I could always pull it out. Here it's easy to put out because I can just dump snow on it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't like this because it just seems to be a bit of a fire hazard. I suppose if I practiced more, it'd be good. I just thought this was too amusing. So I didn't clean out my pot there properly last night, and there's some bits of grass or whatever stuck to the bottom or frozen in, and so here I am making coffee, but I put the coffee in first, and now I'm gonna put water in through a coffee filter to make my coffee, and it just seems ridiculous. I could have just made regular coffee perhaps, but anyway, there you go. So when planning this trip, I knew that the gear that I have is not really, it's not suited for severe winter weather. And so I did put a lot of thought and research into the weather and what it was going to be like. And I knew there's a warm spell coming. It wasn't just a one night thing. It looked like it was going to be warm. Warm is in -10. So I took the chance, I suppose. I'm 5K from my car. Wasn't supposed to snow. If it did get down to -20 and I was thoroughly miserable and cold, then I could get out pretty easily, because once you start working and warm up, you're good to go. My boots aren't great. They're supposed to be down to -40. I don't think they are. They work fine in this weather, but no, I mean the sleeping pad, the tent itself, my Nemo Disco sleeping bag is -9. So I was pushing the gear a bit, but you know, do you really want to get into winter backpacking? If you really want to do it, you really have to invest in the right gear. Or certainly do sort of baby step trips like what I'm doing to A, see if you like it, and B, see how you and your gear reacts. Also to see how hard it is, because it is exponentially harder, I'd say, for every sort of 5-degree increment. It just becomes that much harder. I think that's a fair statement. So anyway, at the end of the day, if I don't like winter backpacking, it's given me a lot more confidence to go into the shoulder seasons a bit deeper, and because those are really the best seasons, no bugs, nice and cool, you know, anyway, so that's what I'm hoping to get out of this, at the very least, is that confidence in those shoulder seasons, in my gear and in myself. Certainly, if I was going to get into winter backpacking proper, I'll have to make some changes.